So I filmed whole segment about 2 hours removing the shifter, taking out the center console, going through everything, and I lost the memory card. I don't know what happened to it. So I'm reshooting this from the point of having the shifter out, popping this assembly off, which is attached by the knob, and I've already taken the old boot, the old gator off. There's just wire holding it around here, and I ordered a new one. I have a brand new boot coming. This one is swollen to the point that it will no longer fit under the tab that runs around the trim, so it won't hold it down. So might keep it for a pattern. That is all coconut wax, but for the most part it is not going to get used on the car. And the whole point of this is to install this Taliaferro short shifter from GenuineSAAB. And overall, I like the build quality. It seems to have really good CNC work. It is greasy because there is a grease port for greasing the shift ball. This is a solid bearing, and there's a retaining cup on the bottom, and it is held in with 3 washers and it looks like coarse screws. Now, how you're supposed to install this is using this hardware that comes with it, and this is a universal install with 3 Phillips coarse screws, 3 washers, and 3 nylock nuts. And I'll show you in a second my plans with this. If you've already, you may have seen posts on the SAAB 9000 owners group on Facebook, or the SAAB Central, or if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen a picture of what I'm doing with this. First thing we need to do is we need to get this shifter shaft out and remove the plastics. So without taking all of this apart, the easiest thing is to pop the whole assembly out without messing with anything. And it's these 3 ears right here that you need to pry back. If you want to take it apart piece by piece, there's a locking ring in here. There's supposed to be a spring holding this back. Mine is gone. Pop the spring out, and then this just rotates and the locking ring comes out. And if I can get this locking ring to come up, rotate it around the right way. There's a cut on one side that will let it clear right there. Oh, come on. This thing can be a pain. There we go. And then the shifter will come out. I've already removed the bronze bushing and the plastic bushings and installed them in the new shifter. They just tap in. It's a snug fit. Use a C-clamp. Don't hit it with a hammer. Use a C-clamp to squeeze everything flat. Now we need to get rid of this holder here. So you want to pry it and push down until one of these comes loose and it moves down. Come on. Stubborn. Come on out. There it goes. To be that old, man, that is some tough nylon. Okay, don't need that. That can go in the trash. Or I'm probably going to keep this in case I need to cast a mold from it to make new ones. Same thing with the trim ring. This can go. Don't need that anymore. Now, This lip, there should be a O-ring down in here, rubber O-ring. Take that out. And then this shifter fits right down in with this block lined up with the reverse tang here. And then as you can see on the bottom, there's no way to hold it. So what's provided is that and a washer clamp. I don't like that. There is a decent gap of about 5 millimeters from the base of the shifter body and the retention point on the underside of the actual mount. And with only a small part of that washer holding, and it's aluminum, pulling down at an angle, it's eventually going to mar that, and it's actually going to start pulling down and getting loose. So I'm not using that. I'm not going to do that. I have drawn up a retaining ring. This is PLA plastic prototype that I printed to get the spacing and everything right. I'm having these machined out of 6061 aluminum. I have 20 on order, and it probably will be November-ish before I will see them. So I can't move to SAAB for a couple of months, but whatever. And that will sit down right on that rim and give threaded points for this thing to get retained by. And I will be using and including, if you decide you want to buy one and you want to do this kit, install on your own, you will get cap head screws with it to do a full assembly with the best retention possible on it. And the screws that I'm actually ordering will come up to the very bottom here, if not out just a little bit. So they'll be full depth of 10 millimeters on about half of one wall and about 5 to 6 on the inner wall. Times 3 is a lot of clamping force. I mean, even in plastic. Plus, it will give you a aluminum buffer right here. If there's something wrong with the shifter pops loose, that you won't damage the ball or the assembly by hitting the E-clip right here, or on the bottom. There's one down there too. You should never contact that with this being installed. It's going to be a short throw, so movement shouldn't be more than well inside of the range of that. But again, if something happens, you're going to get a stop buffer. And it's aluminum, and this is hardened steel, so no damage if it does happen. So that's what's going on now with this. I'm waiting for these rings to come in, and then this is going to get reinstalled. And if you guys are potentially interested in getting this kit, there are no cores of this assembly in stock. I'm really tempted for the 9000 to try and cast this in green sand with bar alloy, because this is a simple casting and they break. That way these guys could potentially bundle it, or if we wanted to, I could bundle, if I can actually cast these, to bundle this mount with the retaining ring for the 9000, since this fits the 900 as well, differently than the 9000, and they can just keep producing the same part that they have now. And this would be the best suitable, I think, installation method for this kit on this mount. I am reconsidering the rear sway bar mounts. Mine are in decent condition, but I know that there are a lot of people out there that have them that have rotten apart, and they've used sheet metal and angle iron to make mounts, and no one wanted to spend the money on the high performance street racing mounts. So I'm rethinking the design right now. Not a ton of interest in it afterwards. There were a couple of people that were still interested in potentially getting a set that I never had made, because obviously that they're too expensive. And see what I can have done before here in the US before we start running into trade issues with China. So that is going to be the best option, unfortunately, to get those made. That's where I'm having these rings cut. They were going to be twice the cost here in the US, and I know no one is going to want to pay potentially $60 for a retaining ring when this thing is a $155 kit as it is. So they're going to get made in China. All the parts I've had made so far through Xometry and through actually had a large batch made directly by a manufacturer, Rapid Star. I think they changed their company name again, but they did a really great job in the anodizing, the cut quality, and CNC spec. Everything was on point. Tolerances were great. So if the alloys are good, most of the facilities that I've actually had stuff made at produced a quality product. So this isn't a suspension part, so it's not as critical for, you know, alloy quality. This will work, but I don't trust it, not in my car anyway, because I have a feeling I'm going to be shifting this thing pretty aggressively. So I don't want it pulling out on me or getting sloppy in the mount. So that's it for now. Short video. I've got wiring stuff to deal with. I'm working on that now. I do have over here a set of diodes. These are 15 amp Schottky to replace the smaller Zehners that the one I put on the air conditioning compressor is getting way too hot. This is too low of a wattage for that circuit when it's on running constantly. So I am going to be doing this soon. Not today, not on this video, but the next one I will probably be going through creating a new diode pack for the AC compressor.